Hi YouTube, this video is just going to be a quick explanation of my experience at MEPS, or the Military Entrance Processing Station. Before I went to MEPS, I know that I looked online and tried to find as many resources as I could to help me understand what I was going to expect while at MEPS. I didn't find a ton of resources, so now that I'm completed with the process, I figured I would make a video just explaining what the process looks like, so anyone who was in my place before and had questions and wanted to see what it was like in order to know what to anticipate, hopefully this video will be able to help you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below, and also click the subscribe button up above because I will be posting additional videos on other parts of the military entrance process and what to expect. So without further ado, I'll start off with the night before. At MEPS, you will most likely have to stay at a hotel. The reason why they do this, A, is because most people come from pretty far away. I went to the Chicago MEPS, which actually was really close to my house, but most people come from surrounding states because there's only one MEPS per area or per region. So we were in Illinois, but we had people coming from Iowa, Wisconsin, Indiana, just all those surrounding states, and usually from pretty far away. So everybody stays in the same hotel. You will most likely have a roommate. It's kind of an awkward process if you're not used to being around people that you don't know. Most likely you will have a roommate, and you will get dinner provided to you if you come in early enough for that. Usually the latest you can be there is 9 o'clock at night. And you'll get a briefing just explaining the security process. You can't have any visitors, you can't leave the hotel. You're just basically on lockdown, and there's a good reason for that. They don't want you to get into trouble or do anything bad before you go to MEPS. Some people are going to be shipping out for basic training the following day. Other people are just there for the initial step in the process. So just get to know everyone that you're with. There were 50 males and 6 females in my MEPS group, so it's a really big group, and you'll spend a lot of time together the following day, so start to get to know these people because it'll make the process just a lot easier. The next morning, you will get a wake-up phone call at 4 in the morning, and it's early, so make sure you get a good night's sleep. I was so nervous the night before and barely slept, and I regretted it the next day because I was just exhausted and kind of dragging through the process. So if you can go to bed early, go to bed early. The next morning, like I said, 4 a.m. wake-up call. You will have to proceed down to breakfast with your roommate, so make sure you're kind of on the same schedule and nobody leaves early because there's going to be someone like a liaison that's downstairs by the breakfast area. She's going to ask, or he's going to ask, where your roommate is, so make sure you go down together. You'll eat breakfast, just the generic eggs, bacon, toast, the generic breakfast fare. And your bus will usually leave around 5 a.m. or maybe 6 a.m. It just depends on what your MEP site does. So you'll get on the bus, you'll take all your luggage with you, you won't leave anything at the hotel. I actually drove to the hotel. I met my recruiter at the hotel the night before, so I was able to just throw my bags in my car, but most people drive with their recruiter or drive on a bus with their recruiter to the hotel. So you'll just take your bags with you. There are lockers. Make sure you bring a quarter for the lockers. You'll get the quarter back. It secures your belongings in the locker. So you'll want to throw all your bags. Make sure you don't bring a ton of stuff because it might not fit in the locker, and then you'll have to just worry about it all day because it'll just be sitting in your liaison's office. It'll just be sitting around, and I wouldn't want that burden of having to worry about it. But once you get to your MEP site, usually 10 to 15 minute bus ride from the hotel, once you get to your MEP site, you will begin the processing. So you'll go through a metal detector. Please make sure you don't bring any guns, knives, mace, anything that could be considered contraband, because you will get kicked out. There's no one in our group that brought anything, but I can just imagine some idiot bringing a gun or a knife or whatever. You can bring a razor, like if you shaved your legs the night before or whatever. You can bring a razor, that's fine. Just nothing that can be considered contraband. So just leave it at home, don't worry about it. Once you go through the metal detector, you will begin your briefings. You'll just get kind of acclimated with the orientation of your MEP site, what it looks like, what the process is going to be for the day, just a quick overview of what you can expect and how long it should take. Be respectful because these people spend a lot of time having to process so many applicants, and they don't need someone who slows down the process by being rude or being loud or obnoxious or talking or anything like that. So just be respectful, be quiet, and just go on with it. Just don't stand out, because that's just going to make the process a lot longer. Once you have your briefing, you will start the medical process, or you will go into taking the ASVAB. I already took my ASVAB, which it stands for Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. So that's the test that determines what jobs you qualify for, what if you're able to join the military. So I took mine a few weeks before, but if you have not already taken it, you'll either take it the night before you go to MEPS or that morning. And that takes about 3 or 4 hours, so be prepared for that. But I'd already taken it, so I went straight to the medical. Most people had already taken it, so they went straight to the medical processing. It's a long process. The medical processing, and actually the entire MEPS experience, the motto is hurry up and wait. So you're going to be doing a lot of line waiting. You're going to be doing a lot of just sitting around and then getting shuffled from line to line and going through different steps of the process. Be respectful, be patient, because it's the same process for everyone. No one's going to get special treatment. So just be patient, and it'll go a lot faster. Make friends with the people that you're in line with, because it will make the process a lot more fun. Everyone has a different reason for joining the military. Everyone has different reasons for wanting to serve this country. So talk to them and see what their experiences have been, why they're deciding to choose whatever MOS or job that they're choosing. Just get to know these people, because there's a chance you could be battle buddies in basic training, or there's a chance that you could learn something really important from someone else. So some of the tests that you have to take are a hearing test, which in the hearing test, what you do is you have these headphones on and you're in this kind of like isolated little room, and you'll hear these beeps, and they'll start off kind of loud and then like get fainter and fainter and quieter and quieter and quieter, and you have to press a button every time that you hear a beep. And it can be really tough. It was actually really tough for me. And there were people that did not pass that portion, so their day ended once they didn't pass that portion. Other tests you have to take are an eyesight test. If you have glasses or contacts, you'll have to take them off, and you usually have to get an additional test as well. A color blindness test. If you're a woman, you have to take a pregnancy test, an HIV test, breathalyzer. What else? If you're a woman, you have to get like a gynecological exam. I think the males have their own version of that. And then you'll have to strip down to your skivvies. You'll be in your underwear. Make sure you wear good underwear. Don't wear a thong, lingerie. Please make sure you wear underwear. And you'll be just in a big room in front of everybody, and you'll have to do exercises. So you'll have to do a duck walk. You'll have to walk on your knees. You'll have to walk on your tippy toes and do all these different exercises so that the doctors that are watching can see and make sure that you are physically okay to join the military. There are people that were disqualified for stupid reasons. They could not get up from their knees without using their hands. They make you do a bunch of different things to see how physically fit you are. It can be a really easy process, or it can be a really hard process. It's kind of just up to you and up to how you are. They will weigh you. They will take your height. I was actually 6 pounds underweight, so my BMI, or my body mass index, was okay, so I was actually able to continue the process, but I do have to gain 6 pounds before I leave and ship off for basic training. If you are overweight, they may tape you and then do your body mass index, but just make sure you know what the rules and regulations are and what the qualifications are beforehand. The reason why I was 6 pounds underweight was because they said I was an inch taller than I actually am. So that messed everything up. The weight scale was shifted because I was supposed to be 5'6" instead of 5'5", so that's what kind of threw me off, but I'll just gain the 6 pounds before I leave. Other things that you have to do are just fill out a lot of paperwork. Be truthful. Make sure you tell the truth on everything. Don't lie, because it'll probably catch up to you in the end. They'll have to know everything about every condition you've ever had in the past. If you have asthma, please make sure you tell the truth on that step, because you could be jeopardizing your life by joining the military with asthma. If you've ever had any heart conditions, if you've ever been sick, if you've ever had chicken pox, just everything. Be truthful. If you do say yes to any of the questions, you are going to have medical documentation to back it up, so your process may end there if you say yes to something that's critical. Just make sure that if you know that you're going to have to answer yes in advance, bring documentation so that it makes the process so much easier. So once you are done with all of the medical processing, you'll most likely go talk to your career counselor or some type of liaison from your branch's office. So I ended up going to the National Guard office and talking to a liaison that explained to me what what jobs were available to me. I already knew in advance, just through talking to my recruiter and doing research on my own, that I wanted to be a 35 Fox, which is an intelligence analyst. So the process was a lot quicker for me because I already knew what I wanted. They were able to secure me a spot in the unit that I had wanted, and the process began for my security clearance. If you are in a position that requires a security clearance, you'll have to do a security clearance interview. So you'll interview with someone that will just ask you questions about your past. It will ask you questions about the past 10 years of your life. So anytime you've traveled, anytime that you've been delinquent on any loans or any debts, anyone that you are associated with that could be bad. Have you ever done drugs? So if you answer yes to any of those questions, or if you have anything that's kind of a skeleton in your closet, then I would recommend going for a MOS or a position that does not require a security clearance, because it can be tricky. I've been to Europe twice, and I almost didn't pass my security clearance just based off of my trips to Europe, and it was just for volunteering and just for it's kind of just a weird process. So make sure that you are truthful, and if you don't think you're going to pass the security interview, just go for a position that doesn't require it. I know that cooks don't require it, infantry, some of the other positions. There's tons of things that are available if you don't think you can pass. But moving on, once you're done with that, you'll most likely go back to your career counselor, your liaison. It's just a lot of back and forth processes. Paperwork most likely won't be filled out completely correct. You'll have to sign a bunch of things. You'll start the contracting process. So you'll talk to your liaison or someone about how many years you want to serve. Everyone serves for 8 years, but you can choose how many years you want to be active duty versus inactive ready reserve. Different benefits that you will receive. Everyone has different things that they want on their contracts. If you want to become a ranger, if you want to go to flight school, or I don't know, other things, you can have that added to your contract in advance. If you qualify for officer candidate school once you finish your degree, there's a lot of different things that you can just talk to your career counselor about. Once you're done with that, you will get fingerprinted, and then you will be shuffled from room to room, having to sign things, go over steps of your contract, understand some of the rules of the military, answer questions. So it's just a lot of waiting. You'll be just in a big lobby area with everyone else and just waiting. You'll hear your name called. You'll proceed to whatever room they tell you to go to. All in all, got there at 5 a.m. My process was done about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had my parents come to my swearing-in ceremony. If you're able to make it through all the steps of the process, there were a lot of people that did not make it for different reasons. They had too many speeding tickets, medical disqualifications. Your day will end early, but my process was able to make it all the way to the end, and there were 4 people that swore in from my group. So I brought my parents. I was the only person who had my parents come. I just told them to come. I was told to tell them to come at like 11 or 12, but it ended up being until 4, so they waited and sat there the same amount of time that I did. But they were able to come to my swearing-in ceremony. It's actually really recommended, and I really am proud that I was able to have my parents attend, because this is a huge step in my life, and I wanted them to be there and experience it. So it wasn't just, oh, I'm in the military, but it's a separate aspect of my life. I wanted them to see what it was like. So if you can bring your parents or bring family members, husbands, wives, things like that, I would recommend it. They can take pictures. It's a very emotional experience, but it's a wonderful experience as well. So my parents were able to come, swore in to your branch. You'll repeat the oath. You'll get to experience it with everyone else that gets to swear in at the same time. It's just a really, really good experience. Your recruiter will most likely be there. And then once you're done, you will sign your official contract, and then you're done. Be respectful the entire time. You're going to be around some pretty high up people in the military, so you want to make sure that you are giving off a good first impression. But that's pretty much it. Once you're done with that, you can leave. Your recruiter will either take you home, you'll take a bus home, you'll take a cab home, whatever the process looks like for you. But that's it. It's just a lot of waiting. Be respectful. Wear good underwear. Make sure you wear a t-shirt and have fun. Meet a lot of people. Just have a good experience. So if you have any other questions for me, please let me know. Feel free to leave me a comment below. Send me an email or subscribe to my channel, and I will have additional videos soon. So I hope everyone has a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.